another episode of The Traitor Chicago, Season 3, Postmortem, hosted by me, Ben. And today I have my special guest, Evelyn, who I am very sad to see sitting in this chair, but I'm excited to actually get all the tea from you because I know you'll keep it real with me. So, girlie, what's the tea?
I don't know if I have a lot of tea actually. I think I mostly was sort of trying to figure out things as I was going, and so I wasn't really deeply being oh, this person or that person. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. But now it's now that I'm eliminated, I'm kind of I'm still processing everything. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I feel really good. I'm glad I did it. I almost didn't do it, but because I know Carter because we went to comedy high school together.
Oh, cool.
And by that I mean we met in comedy. But
so that's cool.
Yeah, for some reason I've been going yeah, we all went to comedy high school together.
That's drag, baby.
I like the you got it. But basically, sorry, what was the question? I'm really high.
How are you feeling?
Oh, yeah.
How about your elimination?
I feel good.
You said you're still processing.
I feel good, yeah. I was really happy that, I guess, there was never any point where, I felt, angry or, I felt, any sense of, malice. And so once I, was killed, I was I'm glad I was able to leave, at a point where I, only really felt, positive emotions.
That's good, honestly. Yeah. And yeah, because leaving this, I've seen people crash out.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, as someone, not during this game, but during my Survivor season that I did, I was, originally 6th, or what is it, 4th out of, 20. And I low-key was, crashing out to my accent, being I can't believe I'm, 2.5 hours away from Chicago, I'm pissed.
Oh.
But then there was, a battle back, and there was a whole thing. But I'm that's not the way to do it. I remember him trying to huff and puff away from people because I'm I don't want this to be well, people remember me by one because people are gonna be yo, what the.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy that you're taking it this way. I mean, obviously other things happen and I did pretty well last season, but yeah, it's all about what you get out of it and how you behave.
Yeah, that's really interesting to find out about you though, because I feel coming into this, you seem so established within and you projected this sort of confidence, but also it's in that that was a moment in which you were able to acknowledge oh yeah, this maybe I should be having a different reaction, and so that shows a big degree on your part of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, no, I feel I'm very self-aware. One time I was playing an two ORGs, excuse me, and I got eliminated from both of them at the same time for unrelated reasons, and I was home thankfully, and I was online, so I was kind of emotional, and I was I just need to cry to feel better. This is stupid, but it's a game. We're all just adults playing games. It's not that serious.
Yeah, and I totally get that because that's how I feel about comedy, or that's the lesson I've had to learn. And it truly took me transitioning to figure that out for myself because I remember
for transition.
Who could tell? Okay. Bet you couldn't tell. Unclockable. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, but before that, I was oh, I have to be funny, or I feel I have no purpose or no value. And then after transitioning, I was wait, no, this, who I actually am, to myself is my most important thing now.
Yeah.
And so now it makes it a lot easier for me to interact with this thing that I used to care more about, but was simultaneously worse at. And it's the less I started caring about comedy, the more it started actually leading to things. And so I was oh, so the secret to just the secret of having the most fun within the life that you live is just knowing that nothing is actually serious. And so if everything you allow it to be a joke, then nothing that bad can really happen to you.
Yeah, oh my god, I kind of learned the exact same lesson, which in a very weird way, being in academia and doing other things outside of it. I always had all my socials as my BShafe _, very professional.
Yeah.
But I was always this is my artist stuff, this is whatever, I never really separated that.
Yeah.
And so during pandemic I was life sucks. And I was like, I need to stop taking myself so seriously.
Yeah.
And so that's when I changed all my artist stuff to like Irish Thicc. And so it was like a way to kind of like reclaim like, well, yeah, I'm like a bigger person, but like I'm literally like a thick person. I will never be skinny, period. So it's like, let me just like kind of reclaim that and just like chill out. You know,
that's such a powerful like reclamation. Cause yeah, I remember
in like a weird way now that's like my drag name. Like people call
I
me
love
now,
that.
you know?
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. I remember for the first like 3 years of my transition, I didn't have like a trans flag in my bio. I didn't have anything that indicated that I might be trans. And for some reason I was just like, I don't want that to be someone's like first impression of me, because there was like an amount of internalized transphobia going on.
Sure.
And then like, yeah, for some reason something shifted like at the beginning of this year, and I was like, no, like I'm a doll. Like,
period.
and that's like a core part of like who I perceive myself to be.
Yeah.
And because that's a part of my lived experience, it deserves to be celebrated.
Yeah.
And so this has been a great year of me like aligning both like this gender stuff that I care a ton about, but also like with like what I want people to know about me, and like sort of synthesizing those two things into one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I guess we really should be talking about like trader stuff, but this is a great conversation.
Sorry.
So
I was like,
well, no, I'm gonna like marry the two, because like in Real Traders, and I guess here we actually are very obviously inclusive. We have, I don't know.
I got a full ride.
Okay.
Black trans woman in STEM.
Clock that.
Clocked.
But even like with the actual traders, NBC, I don't know. Like I know that Alan Cumming is wanting to have like more queer people in that representation.
Right.
So like I guess like had that been like a desire from seeing other like trans femme or trans queer black people
actually
and brown people on traders, or is this just like, hey, fuck it, like I'm just gonna have fun?
Yeah, it was the second one definitely, because I watched Traders, but so casually that like I ended up like missing a lot, which I realized playing this. I was like, oh, I should have been paying attention to certain things.
Yeah.
Because I remember Peppermint competed season 2, was eliminated so fucking early, and she was the only like black trans woman, and so the reunion it came up, and I was like, holy shit, like she's completely right. And the way that they treated her was insane. And I think
literally saying that because she's trans, she's capable of flying. Like what?
That's fucking insane.
Like we're human, we're all capable of flying.
Yeah.
That's not somehow like that's a weird transphobic way to go about that.
Yeah. That's like, and like I had a conversation with someone like on this cast who I met.
Cool.
And basically there was this moment where they said something when I was talking about my trans identity. They were like, that's so crazy, I thought you were a real girl. And like
I wasn't.
Right, but it was like, this is such a great opportunity for me to be like, let's examine that.
Yeah.
What could that language possibly imply that I know you don't mean?
Yeah, right.
But like, what? Because I'm like, I love moments like that, because it's like, truly, I'm fortunate enough to like pass so much of the time that like, even like if I'm taking like a 30-minute walk home and it's like 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm like, I'll be fine. Like nothing bad will happen to me. And so it's like, but I feel like because I get that privilege, I owe it to other trans people to like, sort of, I guess like call people out in their language and like sort of be like, not ever in like a antagonistic way, but more so like, hey, so this is actually like I'm partially saying this because I want your opinion to shift, but I'm also partially saying it just because it's a fun thing for me to talk about. So it's like, for me, it's never like I'm hurt and you need to fix it. For me, it's like, I have so much knowledge about this subject and I like want to info dump onto you about it because I think it's really interesting.
No, thank you for like literally doing that free labor. Like, that's crazy. But I'm glad that it brings like joy. Yeah,
because like I think for me, and part of the reason why like one of my biggest strengths is simultaneously my biggest weakness, and it's like I'm like my special interest is like being trans, and so the best version of that is like when people are like, hey, this obscure like thing about the trans experience, can you explain that to me? It's like, chances are I have like a very lengthy answer I can provide, but the downside of that is like sometimes I find myself wanting so badly to be like this perfect, like my perfect, most fully realized sort of like version of myself, that it prevents me from like doing things that I need to be doing, because it's like that goes outside of like the territory of who I perceive myself to be.
Yeah, and I think it's also like hard too because you know what, we'll talk more about this. We really should talk about this. But my last thing I'll say is it's always hard because people throughout life are always like transitioning in some like body form, like
Right.
child to adult.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're going like transgender is like a whole other thing where there's this like dichotomy between like actively transitioning and not, and there's
Yeah.
like this like perceived notion of having to
Right.
you know be passable or be
Yeah.
I don't know like
Yeah.
model like
Yeah,
trans
because
person.
passability is like bullshit.
Right.
Like it is so unfair to expect people to have to like appear a specific way in order for you to respect who they are.
Like, no one owes you femininity.
Right.
No one owes you masculinity.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I like revisit in therapy the most is like basically like I don't owe people femininity, but like for whatever reason at an early age for like reasons of like my circumstances or like something that happened maybe I internalized like I owe people femininity, and then the moment that like I stop giving them that, that's the moment I lose like my like societal value.
Yeah.
Even to the point where it's like I was so like hard on myself about that kind of thing, but, like even before I transitioned, like my attraction to women made me dysphoric because I was like I can't like and like a lot of other trans femmes I talked to, it was almost the opposite where it's like I sort of like didn't like think that I could like
Gotcha.
but yeah, and that's interesting because the only time I was like, oh yes, I can like date another woman is like after I transitioned, where before it was just like too dysphoric of an idea to me.
Yeah.
And so it's like I objectively like my objective brain knows like passability is bullshit, but like my internalized self is more like, but you have to like it is important for you to do this thing.
Yeah. All right, switching gears back to again traders. LOL, sorry, Carter. Do you think the faithfuls will succeed, or do you think the traders are gonna win? What do you think about that?
That is a really good question. I do think the traders are playing a really good game, and I would not be surprised to see them take it. Yeah, because from the moment I was in the game, I was like, oh, everyone has done such a good job at like convincing me that they're like a faithful, that like whoever the trader ends up or the traders end up being, a part of me will be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And so I really am kind of rooting for the traders because I think like I don't know, it's almost a harder game to play in some respects.
Yeah. Great. Any other like last minute things that we didn't get to talk to or talk about, or things you want to get off your chest? Anything rotted you want to say? Maybe a final message to the group?
My final message to the group is like, thanks for having me. I was a complete outsider to all of this. Carter sort of like was like very persistent about asking me to the point where I was like, okay, like I should apply for the scholarship and give it a go. And I'm really glad I was forced out of my comfort zone because I ended up meeting so many cool people. I met you. I met like 8, 9 people who I'm like, I need to like hang out with this person. And so just for that, it's like, thank you. Because the group immediately I felt so comfortable with. Even like with all the tension of like the other social dynamics happening just because of the nature of the game, I was like, I feel really safe with everybody here. So that was just such a wonderful gift to be able to receive.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Evelyn. It was great having you. And it's so sad to see you sitting in this chair, but